I Met You in a Story, reading for Bob Jones University Press, 2nd edition. Up, Up, and Way Up by Bea Ward. Illustrated by Noel Snyder, Roger Bruckner, and Preston Gravely, Jr. It looks like a dragon, or a butterfly, or a bird. It can lift a man into the air or help send radio messages across the ocean. It was enjoyed thousands of years ago, yet people buy more than 150 million of them every year, even now. It can be made in a few minutes and can cost less than $1. Or it can take months to make and cost thousands of dollars. It has been as small as a postage stamp or as large as a house. It has always been fun, but it has been used for other very important purposes as well. Do you have one? Of course, I'm talking about a kite. No one knows for sure, but probably the Chinese were the first to fly kites. That was well over 2,000 years ago. One ancient story tells of an emperor who was imprisoned by his enemies in a tower. He floated to safety on a kite made of umbrella-shaped reed hats. There are other kite-flying tales from ancient Egypt, Greece, and the Polynesian islands. When traveling Europeans returned from trips to the East, they brought back many things, including kites. At first, the kites were used as toys, but later scientists used them for all kinds of weather experiments. Orville and Wilbur Wright used kites in many of their early attempts at flying. But Benjamin Franklin's historic kite-flying experiment is probably the most famous. When he took his kite out on that stormy June evening in 1752, Franklin was cautious. He knew that electricity could be dangerous. So he made certain that the electricity couldn't be conducted through his body. He wanted to prove his point, but he didn't want to die trying. Kites have also been used in wars. An ancient Chinese general wanted to attack the palace of a wicked emperor. He had only a few soldiers, and he knew that he would lose if he made a direct attack on the emperor's army. So he decided to tunnel under the palace walls and storm the enemy by surprise. His only problem was that he couldn't be sure how long his tunnel had to be. He decided to fly a kite till it stood above the palace, and then measured the length of the kite string. The idea worked, and the general overthrew the evil emperor. During the Boer War in South Africa, the British used kites. The kites lifted soldiers into the air to spy on enemy troops. Kites were used in other wars to send messages from ship to ship. In some battles, kites had cameras mounted on them to take pictures of the enemy. Kites have also helped in construction work. In 1849, an engineer wanted to build a bridge over the Niagara River. The river current was too strong to send a boat across with the huge steel cable. There were no airplanes at that time. The workers didn't know what to do. Then one man suggested a kite flying contest. The engineer offered $10 to anyone who could fly a kite from one shore to the other. After trying for more than a day, a young boy landed his kite on the opposite shore. Workmen tied it down and used the string to pull ropes across. Finally, they were able to haul across the steel cable. A boy with a kite had helped build a bridge from the United States to Canada. These days, we have helicopters and airplanes to do work for us. So we use kites mainly for fun. It's not difficult to design and make your own kites from light wood and paper or plastic. Or you can buy a kite easily. There are over 200 stores in the United States that sell only kites, all kinds of kites. If you get tired of flying a kite by yourself, you can join one of many kite clubs around the country. In these clubs, you can learn all about kite fighting, using your kite in the air to cut the line of your opponent's kite. You can also learn about hang gliding, using a kite to glide through the air. You can learn how kites are used for fishing, sailing, and many other things. So alone or in a group, for fun or for work, go fly a kite.